All right, folks, welcome to a market recap. Today we did have a setup. The Pershing time was in the wrong time. And quick little insight to the feature of this video. The only way we're going to be able to execute this trade is through experience, right? And today's logical reasoning to this trade be without even having the right time of the purge, we could have executed this trade without that, but that only comes through experience and through you actually having a large amount of sample size of experience, right? Of you executing the same model, not experience in trading in general, experience in trading the same model like Total Soup, right? And if you're a Total Soup trader, you could have longed this extreme side of the OT, which is at the 0.886. You could have longed this sell side liquidity and long it up and target up this highs right here as well. You could have seen this as being a market. The market context on this trade would have been a false market structure shift to the downside with a deep retracement, very deep retracement OTE. Then you could have longed it up to the upside and made a lot of money from here, right? But as I said this before, this only comes through experience. It only comes through you executing the same model over and over, which was our goal. And at the early stages like this, I'm like when I'm talking about experience, I'm not talking about your fucking a year, 2 years. That's not enough. You must have years of experience, right? Where this is all about long term. It's not short term. Everything I talk about is primarily in the longer term basis, never in a short term basis, right? And this is the before. I gave it to the Discord, right? If you guys are on Discord, you guys will be treated like this the whole time. I won't be. Sometimes I won't be even go to live. Sometimes I won't even go live. Like today, I had a doctor appointment. Sometimes I may not even want to go live, so I'm gonna go live. So if you're in a Discord, this should help you out a lot, and you can see our targets were right over here, and you can see our targets got met. This is the first target, second target, third target. All of them got met after another, and you can see I said right over here there was a key level looking too long on that market forecast we had during that time when I gave out a signal. I was like, this looks beautiful to long it up. But not the right time not the right time to purse. I was like, man, I can't take this trade simply because not the right time to purse, so I didn't take it. But in the future, we can take this logically, right? If it makes sense, right? If it makes sense. But as I said, the only way we're gonna know that is through actually having a large amount of sample size of trades, a large amount of experience. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to have it because we need to have that. We need to execute the same model over a large amount of time to know, okay, we can execute without even waiting for the right time to purge. So, but as I said before, that only comes through experience. Now, let's get straight into it. We had a stacked bias here. We had a weekly SMT CRT to the upside with what was it called? DXY, another weekly S&P series to the upside with DXY again and with GU as well on a daily time frame with daily SMT IRL. No, with daily time frame with daily IRL to ERL, a daily series to the upside, another daily series to the upside, which both got met, as well as we had a wick below because high prices. We have a deep retracement of the OT, so we want to buy up. You can see that's why we had SMT preventing that soup. So if you're in the right side of the market, you will highly likely find if the market goes against your position where the market's supposed to go to, when it's supposed to be a retracement, a deep retracement, market will usually leave out a SMT, which it did. And make sure you guys constantly analyze DXY and GU during your trading hours because drone can change just like that. So if you're bearish on this day, right around here, your buy should have been bullish because why? SMT divergence, right, on a daily time frame. And I always, every day when I'm adding a chart, I always look at DXY's weekly chart and a daily chart and GU's daily chart and a weekly chart just for the higher time frame. So be very careful for that. Now, going down to lower time frame market context and narrative, we had a bullish order flow. This is the high that broke the low, and eventually once we close above it, Now we had a bullish order flow. We're looking for a reaching below low, break of the highs, which it did. We had a false market shift to the downside, as well as we had a low that broke a high, a old low, which is a very sensitive price point for a turtle soup, as well as this old low is in the deep OTE, which is at the 0.86 mark, and eventually could have longed that up as well, which, as I said, you could have just longed this sell side liquidity, put your stop loss right below this low. You could have done that. You could have, made a lot of fucking money from this. But as I said, that only comes through experience. That only comes through you actually executing, right? But as in my model, I could have executed this just like this, right? For my model, for my total model, I could have just executed just like this without really waiting for that, confirmation, because I trade total soups, right? I could have traded this like this, but as I said, that only comes through experience. And our Wednesday trade, which our Thursday trade when it happened all over here. Like if you go back on a Thursday, this setup that happened, it happened outside the specific time that we're supposed to be trading, but it delivered, right? Like I said, even with this one and these two of both of these trades, in order for you to take them, only comes through experience, only comes through executing the same model over and over. Then eventually you could take these trades without having the right time to press, because this trade happened at 12 p.m., which we don't trade. This happened at 5 a.m., which we don't trade, right? But I said you can only take these trades only once you have the experience. And that's the lesson there on this whole day. That's the whole lesson, right? So we had a range, we had an SMT with a range low, with a range high. We had an SMT with a range low, with a range high, right over here. As well as we had a bullish order flow. We had daily ranges. We're in discount, so we want to buy up. We're going to do the range high, and that's what we have for the market context and narrative. Now we had a near control profile, one accumulation, 5 AM input, 9 AM expansion, as well as we had a 4 CRT of big range this candle. So we're primarily focusing on this candle. You can see our target on the 4 CRT with this candle over here. You can see the little dot. Now, going to the time frame, we're looking for the right time to purge, which we didn't get. But as I said, only comes with experience. So we had a purge, which was not a legit low as well. Keep that in mind. So if I were to take this trade, let's just say I had experience. If I were to take this trade, I would have not taken this trade like this. I would have not waited for this model one, because it's not a bad low. I would have just total soup long this 4 hours sell side liquidity. That's what I would have done, because it's a form of total soup, right? We're souping out a low, which is an extreme side of OTE. So this low is highly to deliver very well. So if I were to take this, let's just say I was advanced at the moment, I would have not taken this one, but I would have just long this total soup and not this one. Why not this one? And I would have long this one while I wait for the confirmation on this one, was because this one's a deep OTE. This is an old low that broke a high, as well as in a very deep OTE. So it makes really much sense without really have to wait. I don't have to really wait for this confirmation, because I know I'm on the right side of the market, because of the hard time frame, a lot of context and narrative. So this long this from this low alone is valid. And yeah, eventually we had another valid low. I was looking for the right time to break, we never got. We had the right model one. Eventually this one delivered. But as I said, it only comes to experience. Same thing on this trade that we had on Thursday. Last Thursday, you can see right model one, resistance block entry to the upside. Now it's on the purge, but guess what? It's still delivered, simply because of, if you're inexperienced enough, you would know, okay, I could launch this up because I have enough experience. I know this is a big, this is right here. If during that time, that right there was a deep OTE as well. So that's the reason why you could have launched, because of deep OTE, right? And this is the market recap. Thank you for watching. Lesson of the day is you have to keep going, execute the same model over and over, have enough experience. Once you have enough experience, we'll know, okay, we can long this up because there's a deep OTE. And the best way to know if you can long this up or shut this down without waiting for the right time is through OTE and false market structure shift, as well as OTE, right? Deep retracement. When I say OTE, not around here. I'm talking about at the 79 to 86 or 70 mark, right, of the OT, right? But this is the market recap. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share. Join us down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.